Okay, what we've been doing so far is we've been doing some work on expanding brackets. So what we know how to do is something nice and easy like this. Okay, and we expand those brackets and we do 2 times 3x, which is 6x, and then we do 2 times 1, which is 2. And these two things are the same as each other, just a different way of writing it down. Now what we're going to do in factorising is we're going to do the reverse. So we're going to basically put stuff in brackets. So let's have a look at a typical question. We might be asked to factorise. Okay, nice word. Factorise 16x plus 20y's. Okay. Now, all we've got to do is we've got to work out what is common to both. Now you can see that 16 and 20 are both even, so 2 is common to both. But 4 is also common to both, and 4 is bigger. So 4 is actually the highest common factor of 16 and 20. So what we do is we put down a bracket, we put down the number 4, and we open a bracket. Now I've got to ask myself, 4 times what gives me 16x? And that's a 4x. And then 4 times 20y, well, I would need 5y. So 4 times 4x gives me 16x, and 4 times 5y gives me 20y, okay? So again, these two things, okay, are exactly the same as each other. I've factorised, I've put it in a bracket, I've factored something out, so I've taken a 4 out, okay? Let's try another one. So let's say we have there we go. Let's say we've got 8y squared plus 16x. And so what do they have in common? They've got 2 in common, they've got 4 in common, but they've also got 8. So in this case, 8 is the highest common factor of 8 and 16. So I'm going to put down an 8. I'm going to open a bracket. 8 times what gives me y squared? Well, just y squared. And 8 times what gives me 16x? Well, plus 2x. So if I do 8 times y squared, I get 8y squared. And if I do 8 times 2x, I get 16x. So you can check that you've done this right because you know how to expand brackets. Okay, let's go on to a little bit more difficult. Here's 18x plus 24x squared. Let's factorise that. Now let's think about the numbers first of all. They have 2 in common, they have 3 in common, but they've also got 6 in common. So 6 is the highest common factor. So let's take a 6 out. Oh, but hang on, let's wait there. They also have x's in common. And the most amount of x's they have in common is just 1x. So I'm going to take out an x from both bits as well. Okay, so I'm going to open a bracket and I'm going to say 6x times what gives me 18x? Well, that's just 3. And then 6x times what gives me 24x squared? Well, that's plus 4x. And you should check that you know what you're doing with the indices here. So again, 6x times 3 gives me 18x, and 6x times 4x gives me 24x squared. So I know I'm correct. Okay, so when you get to this answer, maybe it's helpful if you expand the brackets and make sure you get what you should have. Okay, right, for those of you wanting a challenge, here's a good one. We have 22x squared y cubed plus 33x cubed y squared minus 44 x to the 4 y. So again, here I've got 3 bits, I've got 3 terms, and that's absolutely fine. Now let's do the numbers first. What do you notice about 22, 33 and 44? Hopefully you're thinking that they are all multiples of 11, which they are. So I'm going to put down 11. Now let's see how many x's they've got in common. This has got an x squared. Now this is x cubed, so that's x squared times x. And here's an x to the 4, so that's x squared times another x squared. So they've all got an x squared in common. So I'm going to take that out. Now this is a y cubed, a y squared and a y. So all I can do there, the only thing that's common to all of them is just one lot of y. Now we open a bracket, and now we've got to work out how we get from this thing to each of the others by multiplying. So you get from 11 to 22 by multiplying by 2. I've got x squared and I want x squared, so that's fine. And I've got a y, but I actually want y cubed, so I need another y squared in there. Now I'm looking at 11x squared y, and I need to get to this thing here, so I definitely need a 3 to make it 33. I have got x squared, but I want x cubed, so I need another x. And I've got y, but I want y squared, so I need another y. Okay? So what I've done here is I've done this term multiplied by this, gives us this thing here. This one multiplied by this one gives us this term. So I've got one more term left. So I'm going to take away 4, because 11 times 4 is 44. I have x squared and I want x to the 4, so I need an extra x squared. And I've got a y and I want a y, so that's fine. I am finished. I hope. So that's our factorising. Now, what we agreed was that in your yellow sheets you'd have a go at the odd numbers. So the first thing that I want you to do is to ensure that you have completed the odd numbers from 5.5 on page 83 in the book. It's 5.5. And do that on the yellow sheet, and I'd like you to hand that in the lesson on Monday. Now Mr. Chillingworth is going to take the lesson because unfortunately I've got to go somewhere else. So that's the first thing I'd like you to do. I'm going to leave you the answers for the even numbers. So what I'd like you to do, I'm going to leave those even numbers with Mr. Chillingworth, and what I'd like you to do in exercise 5.5 is in the lesson I'd like you to do the even numbers, okay, from 5.5, so that's page 83. Okay, I'd like you to do that in the lesson. Okay, when you finish that, I will give you some exam questions to have a look at, and if you even finish that, what I'd like you to do is to start review exercise 5 on page 91. There's a lot of questions in this exercise, so something like 64 questions. But at the moment, you'll only be able to do some of the first 25. So just limit yourself to questions 1 to 25. Okay. Don't forget to hand your whole in, which is the odd numbers. Mr. Chillingworth will take those in for me. Okay. Thank you.